On Second Shot, we tackle 2 new headlines every week to find out what kind of wisdom the world is dishing out today. And we want you to be a part of that. When you see a headline you want to take a second shot at, or if you're looking for advice, or just want to tell us what you think of the show, email us at secondshotcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, rate us on iTunes. This helps us move up in the ratings so more people will see us. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the show so that the new episodes will get straight to you every single Friday. We love you. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
Heath Oaks is a millennial mogul whose ignorance on fire led him to fail his way to success. Jenny Anchondo is an Emmy award-winning journalist whose sharp eye and biting wit have led to her storied career in television. Together, they tackle today's headlines in a way only an odd couple with a dash of perfect opposite can. So kick back, relax, and join the conversation. This is Second Shot with your hosts, Heath and Jenny.
I'm hoping for a little bit of laughing, a little bit of crying, a little bit of loving, and you name it today. We got the whole crew in. Zach, Matt, Jenny, everybody's here.
Hey guys.
Hello. How are you?
It's been a minute since we've all been together.
It has.
Right? If people have only been listening to the Second Shot sit-downs, then you need to go back and listen to the old episodes so you can get to know
If that's all you've been listening
Matt,
to,
Zach,
you've been missing out.
You've been
That's what
missing
I
out,
say.
seriously.
That's right.
Yeah, I just feel like today's one of those days that we got to have some laughing. We got to have some big pushing and everything. It's just been a
quite a
whirlwind.
start.
Yes. That she dumped her smoothie in the floor of my truck.
There's nothing worse. Like, I would pick pretty much anything over a spilled smoothie in a car on a day that's expected to be over 100 degrees when it's going to be sitting out there for an 8-hour work shift.
Yeah.
So I took Heath's truck to work today because myriad of issues like meet the teacher day and it's complicated. Anyway, I took the truck, I put the smoothie in the back. I drove a little bit rough on the way to work. It spilled, not on the floor mats. Like, there's floor mats everywhere.
That's what I don't understand. The floor mats in my truck are massive. They cover basically the entire carpet except for a little bitty piece.
And she managed to miss
It missed the entire massive WeatherTech floor mat.
Under the WeatherTech.
Yeah.
It's
impressive.
Everywhere. I spent the first half of the morning when I was supposed to be prepping for the show, prepping for trying to make his car not stink and trying to get somebody there. Then I was so sweaty. I mean, I literally told my coworkers when I came back in, I was like, I literally stink. I have just been out there scrubbing underneath the truck. Anyway, it was quite the day. Then the fire alarm went off for an hour and a half at the office.
It's just been a fun one, right?
So here we are. But I'm still having a good day because I get to see you guys.
It sounds like you guys have had a really busy Tuesday. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Anybody else had any, and you got school starting back soon and all these stuff. It's just been fun. What about you guys? Anything new in y'all's world?
Nothing. Well, I did come home the other day to my dog had gotten sick in her kennel, and then she bit my other dog, which required a vet visit. So it was it turned from what was supposed to be a nice, pleasant Friday night to I'm spending $300 and also I have to clean up all of this stuff all over the house. It was miserable.
You have pet insurance?
Not on him. No, he's very old. The younger one who did the biting does have pet insurance.
Do you sell pet insurance, babe?
We offer it. We can offer it.
I didn't know about that. Does Charlie have any?
No.
Oh, get him signed up.
Oh my gosh, poor Charlie.
Get him signed up.
I know. Yeah, well.
Denied by the pet insurance. I mean, we need to get everybody.
I may have to be doing the surgery.
Right.
Do you think that the milk crate challenge is covered by insurance?
It shouldn't be.
The injuries
be.
Sustained if you do the milk crate challenge.
It should not be.
It could be. All right. So for anybody who hasn't heard, our first headline this week is about the new milk crate challenge. This is one of these hot new internet challenges, right? Like the Tide Pod challenge, which was not really a challenge and was terrible. We talked about that on this show too. But the milk crate challenge is this new thing that's come about.
What is the challenge of the Tide Pod challenge? I wonder.
What
was the challenge of it?
I think the challenge is just trying to figure out what exactly it is.
Just like survive.
That's the real challenge. Yeah. Who knows? But the milk crate challenge is this this new hot viral thing that's been going around. So here's what you do: you get 50 milk crates, right, and you stack them in a pyramid. Almost like a house of cards. You stack them one by one. You do one stack of 1, one stack of 2, one stack of 3, one stack of 4, 5, 6. You go all the way up to 7, and you go right back down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You got a pyramid, right? And the idea of the milk crate challenge is that somebody will they will ascend the pyramid, going one crate at a time, and then come back down the other side. Seems easy, right? Well, milk crates are like 11 inches tall. You get to the middle, that's like a little over 6 foot high. And people start to tumble because milk crates structurally are not meant to hold people. It doesn't work. And there's been a lot of videos of people trying and failing to ascend a pyramid of milk crates. Who knows where they're getting them? Who knows why they're doing it? But this has reached some mainstream media now that Conan O'Brien's tweeted about it. He made a joke earlier this week on Twitter about not doing the milk crate challenge until he had FDA approval in regards to FDA doing COVID stuff this week, and the FDA responded to it, and now it's on CNN. So this thing has officially reached critical mass, right? Like, we're off the app where it started. People are talking about it. What do you guys think of the milk crate
Oh my
challenge?
gosh, the FDA with the joke. Although we regulate milk, we can't recommend you try that. Perhaps a nice glass of 2% and return all those crates to the grocery store.
Yeah.
I love how the FDA is being funny about it in a time where everyone's like hating on the FDA in general.
And just for all the older audience that would get this, because the headline says the milk crate challenge is turning the entire world into Jackass stars, because all the
I
older
forgot
crowd
about
that would
that
know the
show.
Jackass show, you know?
Yeah.
If that gives you an explanation, if you haven't seen it, go Google the milk crate challenge and watch some of these idiots attempt it. It's hilarious.
So dumb.
What would it take to get any of you to do the milk crate challenge? Would you?
Oh, I would probably do it for the show. I would fall and hurt myself, but I mean,
Really?
if you guys ask nicely, I'd probably do it.
Well, shoot.
Here's the
Oh
thing,
man,
you
I
gotta
wish
first
we'd have
off-
known
This is-
that.
First big question, where are you going to get 50 milk crates? I don't even know how you pull that together.
I'll
gonna
go
get 50
find
milk
it.
crates.
If you are
Why
going
are
to
you gonna
attempt
find-
it, I will find you
We'll pull
50.
this
Okay.
off.
Oh, no, I know.
All right.
Snoop Dogg's selling them.
Oh, is it?
Snoop Dogg's selling them. I would do it if Snoop Dogg showed up to deliver the milk crates for like
sure.
a little celebrity moment.
I'm an idiot and I'll try a lot of things, but I'm not trying that because that's a guaranteed fail. Like that's not even like going and getting on my dirt bike and riding motocross is not guaranteed. I'm going to. The milk crate is guaranteed. You are going to fall and hurt it. You got to Google it and watch some of the videos because it's hilarious.
Well, at least if you're riding your dirt bike, you look cool, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you can't look cool climbing a stack of milk crates. You just look like an idiot when
Well,
you fall
hold
off the
on.
top.
I disagree. You can look cool when you're climbing a stack of milk crates. Have you seen the videos of people? They get a crowd of people around these crates. Hundreds of people. Phones out, filming it. Everybody's posting it. I'm
True.
telling you, you want to go viral,
It
you
is
got to give in a little
true.
bit. You gotta take some pain. I think.
When I saw this story and thought about second shots, I've been thinking a lot about how people have, in one way or another, been talking a lot about taking responsibility for their health, ownership over their own health. Kind of saying like, I own my health. I take responsibility with regard to the virus and vaccines and things like that. And I thought that in general, whether I agree with the way that they are taking charge of their health, in general, it's a good thing. And I'm like, that it's a good direction for us to be going in, to be thinking about what we put into our bodies in general. However, then I see this and I'm like, we have made no progress. All we still do is follow what the other person said. And it makes me realize that sometimes when people are talking about like maybe, health freedoms and things like that, that it may not be so much about the health freedoms. It may be because their neighbor or their best friend or the person on TV or the person not on TV or the person on the internet said do this and we're still doing it. Like that is still us as a community.
That's.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. I get that. I mean, mine was kind of similar whenever I looked at it and thought about how, just because the crowd does something and that's going doesn't mean we got to jump in on it, right? Do your own, service, kind of like looking at something. Like when I think about the Bernie Madoff pyramid scheme that wrecked a lot of people. Back in the day, everything looked like it would be solid. I mean, he was like the president of the NASDAQ at one time, right?
Yeah.
But so many people just invested with him because other people did it, and they did no actual looking into some of the things that in hindsight was a very clear indicators of something was up because of his consistent high returns, even when the market downturned, which is almost impossible, right? Like all these things that if you would have just looked real quick, you'd have been, but we just did what everybody else wanted to do and was doing, and we wanted to jump on board with it. I mean, I look at the milk crate thing, and it is hilarious to me that, this one guy had tweeted people doing this like they have the best health insurance in the world, because like it's almost a guarantee to cost you money,
Yes.
and then you go do it, and you're like, oh, I didn't know better. Like, come on now. Like, the odds are not in your favor on this whole aspect of trying to climb these milk crates. Like, it's just not that intelligent.
It does put
It's
some of
still
those,
tempting.
like you said, the Bernie Madoff thing. It does put some of that stuff into perspective because it's like, if we can get people to fall for what is clearly a universally bad idea of climbing these milk crates, and just for what, like for a couple thousand likes on Instagram or on TikTok. you can get people to fall for anything, right? So like it's incredible. Like Jenny said, like for whatever progress we seem to have made about taking care of ourselves and taking care of our bodies, we're clearly not as far as we thought we were, or at least maybe some people did.
Like, not at all.
No.
I do have to say it's still tempting. When I look at it, I'm still like, oh, I kind of want to do that. Does anybody else feel like that, or am I crazy?
No, I don't at all. I have zero.
I'm not going to, but I'm just.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
I get the lure.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about perception, right? Like, there's a great video of a woman doing it in heels, like stilettos, and she does it no problem and comes down the other side, and she makes it look easy.
That's
and it's
fake.
funny how you can always see people doing something dumb and think, I could do that. Now,
Yeah.
hold on a second. They don't get it. I know what I'm doing. They don't see the big picture. I could walk those crates and be fine. In reality, yeah, probably not. Everybody's gonna crash and burn.
I'm surprised our resident ignorance on fire isn't into it.
I typically would be the person
I
that would say,
know.
you know what, but it's just a losing proposition. Like, I'm not about going into something that's a losing proposition. And that is a
Okay.
guaranteed one. And what's funny, I'll tell y'all that it made me think of people doing this, like best health insurance in the world.
Yeah.
And it makes me think of people that do things themselves. 50 Cent. If anybody don't know 50 Cent, I love some 50,
Oh my gosh,
okay?
Heath is on
Curtis
such
Jackson.
a 50 Cent
He's got a new
roll.
book out that's Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, and it's so good. I'm telling you, I promise you it's good. He talks about the dichotomy of being Curtis Jackson and 50 Cent and how he's, because I don't know if people know that he has a massive production company now that he's got a several $100 million deal with stars for TV and movies that he makes and creates with his production company. He's not just a rapper that does, his money's made from TV shows and stuff. He's remarkable. And he talked about that he did on top of their building in Manhattan, he went up top and put a ladder on top and stood up on the ladder and got a IG selfie of him like literally looking down on everybody, which one slip could be bad. And he was like, you know, I posted on IG like, you know, something, you know, smart. And he goes, my insurance company contacted me 3 days later and said, if you willingly put yourself at harm like this, your policy will be canceled moving forward.
Wow.
Yeah. So I thought that was hilarious. And it kind of made me think of that it's like, think about if your insurance company's watching and you're doing a milk crate challenge, you're going to go, hey, you did this to yourself.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Anybody coming into the hospital with a broken arm, I'm like, I'm going to look at your social media real quick and see what you've been doing in the last 24 hours.
So more than anything, maybe think for yourself a little bit. Let's not follow the crowd. Even if sometimes the crowd can be good, but just take a step back and see, are there things outside that are affecting my vision for what this is? Do some looking. The things that look weird, dig into them a little bit more. And just make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's on your own and don't let anybody else make that decision for you. We'll be back in a minute on the second segment of Second Shot.
Psst. Hey, it's Zach. I'm in my apartment recording this audio so Matt can sneak it into the show before Jenny and Heath hear it. I know they always do the sponsor reads, but guys, I had to get in here so I could tell you about Energy Ogre. They've been a longtime supporter of the show, and this summer, Christine and I finally signed up to see if they're really as good as Heath and Jenny say, and guys, Energy Ogre is totally legit. It's crazy. Check this out. You sign up for Energy Ogre for just $10 a month. You send them your most recent power bill, and the team at Energy Ogre will run the numbers to find out how you can save more money on your bill by switching to a different provider. Then they'll switch you over to that provider for you, and you'll immediately start saving money that you would have been spending on whatever company was ripping you off in the first place. Christine and I switched over this summer, and I've been kicking myself for not signing up earlier ever since. We saved so much off our power bill that we paid for Energy Ogre's service fee, and now we got a little extra scratch for date night. If you live in Texas, if you're in a house or an apartment, whatever, go to energyogre.com right now and put in the promo code Second Shot, and you can get your first month totally free. Support Energy Ogre, support Second Shot, and support your savings by switching to Energy Ogre.
All right, from milk crate to maybe why don't we 10x these milk crates, right?
Oh, no.
Why don't we come in and make
500 milk crates.
the pyramid bigger? If you're scared, go to church.
That's right.
I'm scared. I'm scared. Well, I came across this article and I thought, well, this doesn't really, like, does this compute? Does this work out? Apparently, Heath has known about this rule for a long time. And the article was in Success Magazine, which I love. It actually happens to be based here locally.
In
and
Dallas.
They've reformulated. But they had this big article about the 10X rule. And I thought, what is this all about?
Yeah, this is great. What is the 10X rule and how can it help you achieve your biggest goals? Jenny set it up perfect. This was an article out of Success regarding the 10X rule, which is a book and a philosophy by Grant Cardone, motivational speaker, right? Business entrepreneur. Fortunately, Success summed this up for us, so if you don't want to go get the book, we're going to give you the Cliff Notes right now. What is the 10X rule? Grant Cardone says the 10X rule is you take whatever you're aiming for in life, whether that be a salary for $100,000 or that hot new job you want or that cool new house you want to move into, and you set that goal. You think, okay, I want to make $100,000 next year, but then you multiply that by 10, and you say, I don't want to make $100,000. I want to make $1 million, right? You shoot for the moon, and you land amongst the stars. You aim really big, 10 times your current dream, and hopefully, not only will you clear that $100,000 you were aiming to make, but you'll get way over that because you were aiming higher. There's some good points in this article that are worth mentioning real quick. Some kind of foundational elements of the 10X rule that I think are worth talking about. Number one, Grant says success is your duty. It's your obligation. It is your job. And looking at it like that helps you overcome procrastination and laziness. Number two, have you set your goals for success? That's the first. Have you actually done it? Have you decided what you want? And then from there you can set them higher. Number three, criticism precedes admiration. And that's really interesting, right? That people will critique you before they admire you. They will say you can't before they say, wow,
so
you did.
true.
Yeah. And number four, success, you'll figure it out. You'll find it along the way, right? As long as you have this mindset, no matter what happens, you will find success. You will find the happiness you're seeking as long as you keep pushing. So the 10X rule, is it for you guys? Is this something you study? What do you know about this?
Well, I got to say, I will start off by saying I love the 10X rule. I can't say that I'm the biggest Grant Cardone fan. I'm not.
Spill it.
He's extremely arrogant.
He's a personality, for sure.
Very, very arrogant, and he's done some good stuff and created a brand around himself for that kind of group. But I hope that also comes off to say that I'm the type that even if I don't maybe agree with somebody's overall demeanor, kind of who they are, and I wouldn't want to really hang out with him, I ain't gonna go pay money to see none of his stuff.
Yeah.
I can't appreciate things that people do, no matter if I have likes or dislikes with them, right? And so I do appreciate the 10X rule. I've always said, when people have asked me if I would go back to 21-year-old Heath, but what I would do differently.
What you could tell yourself, yeah. Right.
The number one thing is I would have said I would dream bigger. Mm-hmm. I think what happened to me is I dreamed as big as I could see at that time, and then I fortunately got that quickly, and it kind of levels off for you, right? Like if I would have had a 10X back then, then maybe I would have not had a lull in the middle of it all before I kept going for it all. So I do 100% think that is a key process to 10X anything that you do, because it's that old shoot for the moon. If you land on the stars, you're doing pretty good. Yeah. And I know it sounds scary because say your goal is to save $20,000 and that's big, right? You times that by 10, now it's really big. Yeah. But shoot for that. I promise you, the crazy thing is that you're not going to know what it actually you can do and what you can level up to, because what's worse, in my opinion, would be shooting for something and hitting it really quick. Like, that would be worse.
Then what?
Because what else could you have done? You don't know the limits that you put on yourself and the things that you could actually go for if you scare the heck out of yourself with big, audacious goals, right? Les Brown is one of my favorite motivational speakers, and he has this series called Live Full and Die Empty. And what he means by that is he always says that I would rather live full and die empty. He goes, I think it was his uncle or somebody like that, right? Died full. And he said, died full of dreams, died full of goals, died full of ambitions that they were going to do because they never did them. They talked about it, they dreamt of it, but they never did it. When you need to live full, leave it all on the field, right? Like don't die full of dreams and things that you want to do or not going to do. Like, it would be the worst thing in the world. So it's like, live full, put it all out there. So when you die, you left it all on the court. Like you shot for your dreams, you shot for your goals, and you did it bigger more than anybody else.
I think that's good, and I think you have to also own what your dreams are. So in a Les Brown? Les Mills is like a workout program.
Yeah. That's perfect.
It's like a workout program. Anyway, Les Brown, I think they're talking about like career aspirations or maybe sports aspirations or things like that. It could also be they'll leave it all on the table as a grandparent, or as as a spouse, or as a bookworm, or as a leader in your church, or whatever the thing is. I think that's a great example. When I was thinking about this 10X rule, and this is a newer concept to me in terms of like hearing from this guy that Heath doesn't like.
I can appreciate some things, but
I know. But I was thinking about just like, you know, when you're a little kid and you are kind of like exposed, you're just exposed to the people around you, or maybe you were lucky enough to have a career fair. That's something Heath and I have talked about a lot. Like Heath went to a smaller school, so they didn't have like the career fairs. And it's not like I went to any big fancy school, but we did have, you know, enough people where it's like, okay, so and so's parent was a teacher, and this one ran a business, and this one was, you know, my dad's an engineer at the hospital, or just you were exposed to all these different careers. One time a news anchor came in. One time. And I held on to that like it was just like the golden ticket, because I was like, see, she did it. She's from here. She can do it. And I think that I was able to visualize being able to do that because that one person visited. So by doing this, like the 10X, it's almost like you're allowing yourself to see it, and it's going to feel really uncomfortable and almost bizarre at first to think about it. It's very uncomfortable to think about something that you've never seen before or done before yourself, or you've never seen a path charted for you, especially if you're somebody who needs to see the path. Not everybody does. I think there are certain personalities that really don't need to see the path, but for those, I think the majority of us who do, doing this will allow the path to sort of take place because you're at least trying to see 10 times past what your original goal is.
Yep.
Does that make sense with
Absolutely.
going from career fair to the 10 times?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Something that stood out to me here is kind of the law of exponential numbers, right? It's something that's like commonly deceived amongst people. It's confusing to see that something could be multiplied by 10, right? You see it on the page. It's 3 digits, 1, 0, and the letter X. That's it. 10X. Easy. It's a breeze. Looks great on a book cover, right? I think it's different when you actually put it into practice, Grant. Yeah, you put it into practice. And you realize like 10 times what you're asking for is huge and monstrous and scary. That's ginormous, right? That's not double. That is 10 times what you want. That's tremendous. 10 times of anything is huge. 10 times your salary, 10 times the home you're looking for, 10 times, I don't know, anything you want, any of your goals. So the idea of not just doubling it, not just tripling it, not even going 5 times, 10 times that is like so monstrously outrageous. I mean, you think of what people make on average, right? Imagine if you wanted to make 10 times your current salary, 10 times what you're worth an hour right now. What would it take to get there? I mean, that's tremendous. And Grant's not saying you're going to hit that goal, but he's saying you're definitely going to blow past the one you were looking to start with.
The original goal. Yeah. You mentioned salary, and I think that's an interesting thing. I was just having this discussion with a colleague, and when you talk about, okay, we're going to ask for this much in hopes of getting this much. Why do we do that? Like, because you kind of know, both parties know, the employer and the employee both kind of know the range you're going to maybe kind of land on. Yeah. And so then the employee asks for just like that little bit more. And it made me think, wait, what if we ask for like a lot more than what I know the employer is expecting? Yeah. Perhaps would they give a little bit?
Right.
Just because they're opening up their minds to the possibility.
But what if they don't take you seriously? What if they blow you off because you're asking for way too much?
Or think about this, Zach. Last time you were here, we were having a conversation about your business, and you were starting to get. Do you care if I share this?
No, go for it.
Before I share all your personal information, you were starting to talk about how you were really getting busy. You're like, you know what? I think I'm kind of full. I think I'm kind of like maxed out with time. I don't want to work anymore. I wonder what would happen if you did this 10X, and before you know it, you have hired 9 more people to do this.
Yeah.
And then you're making more on top of that. Does that make you feel uncomfortable, or does that make you feel excited?
The idea of multiplying my pricing by 10, yes, but that's not what you're saying.
No, not your pricing,
yeah, right.
your
you're
volume,
saying,
your amount of clients, and then you hire people to help you.
Well, it's funny you say this in regards to like individual pricing, right? Say I'm doing a gig with a client, right? Say I've got a contract with them, and they say, okay, well, send us your rate card. What are you looking at for pricing? I tell them I'm bespoke and that I want to do it however they want. I figure it out with them. But if I come at them with a price that's way higher than what I would typically want, no, I'm not. They're not going to pay that price.
I'm not
but
saying,
they will definitely pay more than
I'm not saying ask for 10 times more money. I'm saying get 10 times the clients. That's what I'm saying. Because you were saying I'm kind of full, but I'm like, well, but obviously there's a need. I mean, look, you got yourself full in like a year.
That's true.
Well, and the thing is
but maybe you don't want to do that.
No. Sorry, I was looking at the other way. Lamborghini, you know them? Totally, just big pivot here. Lamborghini's making 50 Countachs this year. Only 50.
Yeah.
And they're each like $1 million. They could make 1 million Countachs, and they could charge 100,000 a piece. But you go big and you aim small.
Okay.
And you kind of get there.
You want to be bespoke.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing though: is they did 10X that.
Yeah.
Because instead of selling all of those for 100, they go, I'm just going to make this many and make a ton more on it.
It's true.
You know, so it can go both ways. It's a psychological thing. There's a book called Never Split the Difference, which is by far one of the best books you're ever going. I've listened to the book, I must say, 7-8 times.
Oh, gosh.
It's phenomenal for negotiations and everything. And there's psychology behind setting huge anchors. And that's what he talks about when he was a hostage negotiator, one of the biggest hostage negotiators for the FBI. And he talks about how setting anchors can move people's buttons and numbers to certain ways when you set audacious anchors, right? Like asking for way more than what it was. It's not that it will turn people off, but it does whatever the number in their head was, move up more than what it would have been because of how high you were, right? That's why he says you never split the difference. You never say, let's meet in the middle. And then you move slowly with it, et cetera. There's a lot in it. Never split the difference is great. But I would tell you that if you don't scare yourself with something big, you don't know what you're capable of doing. I can promise you that if you set it out bigger, the 10x than what you thought, when you look back at the end of whatever that was to achieve, you're going to do more than you thought you actually could have done. And I'm going to tell you, it is thrilling. It is exhilarating to be going shooting for something that you are like, this puts me out of my comfort zone. Out of our comfort zone, we evolve and grow more than we ever would in our own comfort zone. And one of the things that I love the most about one of the pieces on here is that he says, success, you will figure it out. And it talks about leaning into success. Yes, the 10X rule teaches you to reduce the fear of failure, set higher goals, but beyond that is the rule itself. Do what you have to think and do to get to a point 10 times more gratifying than you've ever imagined. I can guarantee you, you will figure it out. It's amazing that what happens, and it's hard to explain, if you push for that and you think of the things you don't know to get that, I can guarantee you once you get there, it will happen. You will learn things that you thought you couldn't have done. So I'm going to challenge you that more than anything, 10X those things. You ain't got to go listen to Grant Cardone and stuff, and if it ain't your thing, I get it. If it is your thing, great. There's somebody for everybody.
Sure.
But I can appreciate good things from a lot of different people, but I can tell you that if you shoot bigger and higher, get yourself uncomfortable, I think you'll just surprise yourself at how good you are and just how capable you are at doing some really big things you wouldn't have thought you could do. We'll be back in a minute on the third segment of Second Shot.
Okay, quick break to tell you guys about this closet situation. I told you we've been working with Closets by Design to figure out the laundry room area. This was an area that I tried to kind of piece together I tried to find a handyman, handy woman, handy lady, somebody to construct something for us, was not able to find it. I ordered some stuff online. It was a total disaster. We ended up working with Closets by Design, and I cannot tell you how good this laundry room turned out. I'm getting ready to put a video up on my Instagram page, but if you're looking for somebody to help you with a closet for just really any part of your house, your laundry room, your regular closet, someplace in the kitchen or the entryway, hit up Gia at Closets by Design. She maximized this space like you would not believe. I never thought I would be excited about a laundry room, but you can hear the excitement in my voice. It was just such a good experience. They came and did it in one afternoon. It looks like it was built into the house. That was the other thing that kept happening when I tried to order these random things online, is it looked very disjointed. So it looks like it was built with the original design. And now we have spaces for everything. Gia, I am obsessed. Obsessed. So the website is dallas.closetsbydesign.com. You will not regret it.
Everybody will be happy that I am going to shame you. Of course, I have to. I have no way else to do it. But I'm also going to bring some other context into it. But I need you to leave a rating and review, please. If you're listening and you like it, leave us a rating and review. It does help. Now,
we know you're listening. We see all the people who listen, by the way.
Now, the thing is that I don't know about y'all, but I did not like the new updated podcast app. It has thrown me off. I can't go get my old shows the way I did, and we've seen a drastic difference of listeners on the podcast, the iTunes podcast app versus Spotify and all that. And so go to our Facebook group, Second Shot Podcast Facebook group, or on Instagram, and messages, hit us up and tell us, where are you listening to the podcast? What platform are you currently using? Spotify? Are you using iTunes or SoundCloud? Or what are you using? Tell us what that may be, because I don't know about y'all, but I don't like the update.
I was worried about Spotify because I don't have a paid version, so I hear ads when I listen to music. So that's why I was avoiding it for podcasts. But it doesn't give you additional ads during the podcast.
Oh.
So it's excellent so far. That's what I switched to. I tried with the Apple iTunes update or whatever it was, and it's terrible. Where do you guys listen?
I use a third-party app called Overcast. I highly recommend it. I love it. It's very organized. It's got a little setting on it called Smart Speed, which crushes down all of the moments of silence so you can get through shows faster.
Love.
I really
What is
like
it called?
The app is called Overcast.
Do you pay for it?
No. It doesn't. I think it does have a paid version because it will serve you a little ad along the bottom of like promoting a show, but it's not anything obnoxious.
Oh, nice.
But I love it. I think
Overcast.
there was a discussion in the Second Shot Facebook group, right, Jenny? You started
Yes.
that. So there are plenty of suggestions there for other places you go if you are fed up with the Apple podcast app. I ditched it a long time ago because I just didn't like the way it was organizing things, and it was not very great to navigate. And so I went to that. Like
It's
I said,
worse now.
Overcast, it's very clean, and if you want to not have to listen to things on 2x speed, this is a great way to do it, I think.
Worth mentioning, Matt Stoker, podcast producer extraordinaire, chooses Overcast.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just I don't know. I can't tell you what to use, but I know Matt listens to a lot of shows.
Do you
One out of
listen to
4
Overcast?
podcasters choose it.
What do
How
you
do you use yours, Zach?
I'm on Spotify, but I got that Spotify Unlimited plan, which I'm surprised you don't have. You listen to those ads?
But you don't listen to ads. I haven't gotten any ads during the podcast.
In between tracks, in between songs and stuff.
I don't really listen to
But
music that often.
I don't.
All the time. Yeah,
I
that's fair.
don't really listen to music. I mean, there's just
I am a podcast. I literally listen to podcasts
It's the best.
nonstop.
we are podcast junkies. That's why we
am.
do this. Like we love. I mean, I co-created a TV show based on podcasting.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we
It's
just
true.
love. I just love it as a medium. I think it will continue to grow, and I'm so thankful for Spotify, Overcast, and whatever the heck other places there are because the iTunes app is so terrible.
How do the people at the front of the race have it so bad? iTunes is the
I
biggest,
know, like-
biggest podcast distributor. Worst interface. I don't
I know.
get it.
How did they
It
let
used to
that
be good.
happen? It
Before
used to
their
be
update
so
was terrible.
good.
There was a time.
I was like, this has got to be a joke.
Yeah.
You know
so-
what else too is? If any of y'all are in that spot that you are actually going to do this milk crate thing, please video it and post it in our Second Shot Facebook group. I would
Stop it.
love
Yes,
to
please.
laugh at
Yeah.
you.
Please don't get
I
hurt.
would love to laugh
Please
at
don't.
you.
But if you
do
do
it.
do it, send it to Heath.
Please.
Disclaimer, I'm not saying do it. I
Right.
would not
No,
do
no,
it personally.
don't do
But
it.
if you're going to do it anyways
But if
because
you
you
do
just want to test it,
We know some of you out there. who
video
do
it and
We know
post it, please.
That is terrible. Hey, you guys, I wanted to let you know the Corey Borner episode of Second Shot, which is I know you guys are listening from all over, but he happens to be from the Dallas area. He was told when he was a teenager after a football injury he would never walk again. He walked at his graduation just a couple weekends ago. Just total miracle, total mindset shift. He continued to believe it would happen. He was told he wouldn't use his hands again. He used his hands. Just an unbelievable interview. It's gotten, we do these on TV too, and it's gotten a ton of just amazing reactions from people on TV. So if you haven't heard that episode, scroll on back, and that was a good one. And Corey's awesome, and he was super grateful for to be on the show, and he was a big fan of the show too. So that was cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Very
And you can
cool.
see the video over at facebook.com/group/secondshot. I think that's
Yeah.
where I saw it. Yeah. I think there's a
the
link.
video?
It goes to a place.
I think the link's on there.
Yeah.
I think the link's on there.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Well, Matt and Zach, kind of everybody tell them what you got going on, where they can find you at.
Oh gosh, it's been a minute since we did this. Jenny goes first, right? Or do I go first?
Sure, I'll go. JennyAnchondo.com, but mostly Facebook.com/groups/second shot. And then you can see the TV versions of these on CW33 Thursday mornings, 10 to 11 a.m.
Movies are expensive. Podcasts are cheap. If you want to find out what's going on at the movies and whether or not what's coming out is worth your time, I do a movie podcast called Off Script Film Review every Tuesday, except this Tuesday we're off. But come check it out, Off Script Film Review, wherever you find your podcasts.
You can find me on Instagram, MattStoker1. That's the numeral 1. You can also find me in the Second Shot Facebook group. And go look up True Crime Reporter. Still killing it out there. If you're a fan of true crime, find us out there.
You can find me at Ignorance on Fire on Instagram is probably the best place to it, or the Second Shot Facebook group. And Second Shot podcast at gmail.com if you want to shoot us an email with anything that you have and leave us a rating review. We love you. See you next time. Bye, y'all.